Hi, good afternoon, good morning, and good night. My name is Sebastian Navarro Cavazos, and I'm gonna present you to about the two countries, that is Mexico and US, their analysis in the market. First, we are gonna start for Mexico's opportunity for expansion. This for the company of Kyusoku. This is their logo, and we are gonna start. First, we are gonna start with our findings and then the recommendations, and then a small conclusion, and then we are going to go to the next presentation, to the next company. First, the findings. We have this in the demographics and purchasing power. The Mexico demographics is a pretty young and growing middle class with urban demand for electric vehicles. It will be a lot of advantage for us, more in Mexico's urbanized regions, where I'm going to change this here, okay? Mexico's urbanized region, because the demographic concentration is the strongest, and it could be a very favorable market. We are gonna start, and we are gonna put an emphasis more in the northern regions like Monterrey, because also that they have a urbanized region with a demographic concentration. It also has the strategic proximity to the US that we can use with the USMCA trades. Next, the Mexican politics. The Mexican politics have a pretty supportive policies like the Prioridad and FDI incentives. Some of the challenges include the bureaucracy, because it's pretty like informal and unorganized in our country, and the regulatory updates under the new administration, because the new administration is of Claudia Sheinbaum, and she wants to put a lot of emphasis in the environmental factors. So we need to pay attention to that, because it could affect us. And next, the economic opportunities. We are integrated with the supply chains under the USMCA, as we talk later, but we need to wait for Trump's changes, because he's using a pretty protective strategy for US. So we need to check what outcomes could be in the future about these parts. But in the good part, the growing support for electric vehicles is a 50 billion industry now in Mexico. So it's pretty big. The legal system and regulation opportunities. We are an automotive manufacturer. It has a lot of opportunities and something to help us, like the tax breaks for important machinery and RYD expenses, and environmental compliance, stringent bank trust. And because we are an electric vehicle company, we have a lot of that. So it's going to help us a lot, this part. The Mexican peso has moderate depreciation. Now is incrementing a little bit, but this could benefit as dollar-backed investments. So we need to check on that. And it have a pretty good opportunity for cost-effective operations. Now, the Mexican culture, I think we could link a lot of the Japanese and Mexican part in this, because the Mexican values is of importance of hierarchy, interpersonal relationship, and flexible work culture. I think is a pretty good part of the Japanese culture as well. And the local sourcing appeals to national pride. So we're going to talk about more of this in the opportunities. Here's the recommendations. And the target regions is Mexico City because of its concentration, or its demographic concentration. And Monterrey also has a lot of demographic concentration, and it's on the north part of the country. So it could be improved to expand or investment in the north of the country, and also pass to the northern part, that is US. So it's a pretty good strategic location. The entry mode gonna be a joint venture with local firms to its regulatory compliance, and also, as we saw in the previous slide, local sourcing appeals to national pride. And the timing will be entered in the Q1 of the next the first quarter of the next fiscal year, to leverage the market conditions. Now, the conclusion. As we talk about later, with strategic location, favorable trade agreements, and growing economic and interest in sustainable transportation, Mexico offers a promising environment for us as an electric vehicles company. By acting to the local conditions and leveraging the benefits of the USMCA, we can establish a sustainable foothold and potentially expand further into North America. That is our biggest strategy. Well, now we are going to go to the US market analysis for Acero Mexico SA. Now, we are going to talk, like in the previous part, we're going to talk first of our findings, then some opportunities, and then the conclusion. The findings, first, the demographic, the purchasing power. We are going to center in the previous project, we center more in the northern part. Now it's going to be like a social and cultural part that is of Hispanic consumers, because the Hispanic consumer market, especially now concentrated in Texas and California, is of $2.4 trillion. There is a lot. And industrial demand for construction and automotive sectors and also electric is in demand of steel. So we are going to talk about more of these two key concepts. And now, the US political system had a lot of investment policies. One of them is the CHIPS Act. And because they have a pretty appealing policies and other things to foreign companies, it's a pretty competitive market, but it has opportunities in sustainable manufacturing. The legal systems and regulation opportunities, indeed, we have the OSHA. This is a pretty popular name if you are in engineering parts, but has a strong protection for intellectual property and environmental compliance, more in Mexico. So we need to focus more on that, because it could be, we could have problems, so we need to stay focused in this part. But we have incentive for industrial states like Texas, reduce entry cost. So this part is in Texas that reduces entry cost, and in Texas is also the Hispanic culture. So there are two things that to consider in Texas. The workplace culture is efficiency focused and also productive, with an emphasis on diversity and inclusion, because there are a lot of people of another parts of the world. It's a pretty diverse and inclusive culture, but we are going to center more in the Hispanic majority regions to offer some cultural familiarity. Here are the recommendations of the US entry. We will have a regional focus. We are going to start in Texas and California to test strategy. We are going to start in regional, and then we are going to enter more and more. The entry more, we are going to begin with direct exports, scale through joint ventures, and the timing is entering in 2025 to align with industrial growth, as the other project, also in the first quarter of the year. Sorry. Now the strategic alliance. We should explore a strategic alliance with US-based construction firms, automotive manufacturers, and renewable energy companies, as we talked in the previous slides. These industries are key consumers of steels and could provide a long-term contracts and steady demand that will give us a lot of security to now export and increase our market penetration. The conclusion is of United States offer a very competitive but also rewarding environment for Aceros Mexico SA. Having a strategic alignment with the market demands, legal compliance, and cultural adaptations will be critical for our plan to succeed. With a well-executed entry plan, we can position us as a leader in the US metallurgy market. And I think we have a well-executed entry plan, so we can enter and we can be a leader of this part. That's going to be all. Thank you for your attention. I expect that you like the presentation, and goodbye.